talking about the governments of Mexico and Nigeria. The governments of the two countries are fairly similar, so hopefully this will be a short video. We begin with Mexico. Mexico, or as it's known in Spanish, Los Estados Unidos Mexicanos, is a federal republic with two legislative houses. It is composed of 31 states and one federal district, and its capital and largest city is Mexico City. Mexico has a three-branch federal government and state and local governments, much like the United States. However, in Mexico, the executive branch is the historically most dominant branch, and the judicial branch is generally known as the weakest branch. We begin with the legislature, the middle branch. It is divided into two houses. The upper house is the Senate, and lower house is the Chamber of Deputies. The Senate has 128 seats, of which 96 are directly elected and 32 are given through proportional representation. Everyone in the Senate serves 6-year terms. In the Chamber of Deputies, there are 500 seats. 300 members are directly elected, 200 members are appointed through proportional representation, and everyone in the Chamber of Deputies serves 3-year terms. Unlike in the United States, members of the legislature cannot be immediately reelected into the next term. They have to sit out at least one term before being reelected. The executive branch is led by a popularly elected president who is limited to just one 6-year term. The president selects his cabinet, his attorney general, diplomats, and military officers, and has the ability to appoint Supreme Court justices. The president is very powerful. The executive branch can issue reglamentos, or executive decrees, that have the effect of laws passed by the legislature. There is no vice president in Mexico, so if the president is ever killed or incapacitated, an emergency successor is chosen by the legislature. Because of the power of reglamentos and the control the president has over the army and police forces, the executive branch has been historically dominant over the other branches. The current president of Mexico, Enrique Peña Nieto, won election in 2012 with 38% of the country's votes. He pledged to improve Mexico's economy, security, and clean up the drug problems, but recent events, such as the disappearance and kidnapping of Mexican students, the corruption in the Mexican army, and the rising strength of the drug cartels have led to declining approval ratings and a loss of trust from the Mexican people. Now we move on to the Mexican judiciary. It consists of many federal, state, and district courts, but is led by the Supreme Court of Justice, which consists of 11 members nominated by the president and confirmed by the legislature. Most of the serious court cases are managed by federal court judges without a jury. However, this system is full of problems and corruption, and as a result, most Mexican citizens have low confidence in the judiciary. All Mexicans 18 and over can register to vote and have suffrage. When Mexicans register to vote, they receive a voter ID card that must be shown in order to vote in an election. There are 3 main parties in Mexico. There are some smaller regional parties, but these often form alliances with the larger ones. The National Action Party, or the PAN, is a center-right Mexican party. The Institutional Revolutionary Party, PRI, is the centrist nationalist party, and is the one that Enrique Peña Nieto is a part of. It ruled Mexico for the first 71 years that it was created, and has continued to be historically dominant. Finally, we have the Party of Democratic Revolution. It is the left-of-center party in Mexico. We now move on to Nigeria. The Nigerian government is similar to the Mexican and the United States government. It is a federal presidential republic with 36 administrative divisions, or their version of states. The capital of Nigeria is Abuja, and its largest city is Lagos. The government structure of Nigeria mirrors the structure in the United States. There is a 3-branch federal government, which also has some control over state governments and local municipal officials. The legislature, or in Nigeria called the National Assembly, is a bicameral house. It consists of the Senate, which has 109 seats, or with 3 seats per administrative division, and 4-year terms, and the House of Representatives, 360 seats and 4-year terms. Both members in the Senate and the House are directly elected. The executive branch uses a presidential system like Mexico and the United States. The previous president of Nigeria was Goodluck Jonathan, but the current president is Muhammadu Buhari, who defeated Jonathan in 2015. His vice president is Oluyemi Osinbajo. Muhammadu Buhari is a former army general in Nigeria. He was the head of state from 1983 to 1985, and when he took over after a military coup, and was known for his brand of politics called Buharism, extreme right-wing nationalism. Now Buhari has been democratically elected. He fairly won the 2015 election and is not as radical as he was in the past. The Nigerian judiciary has many courts, but the highest court is its 15-justice Supreme Court. The justices are appointed by the president and approved by the Senate and judge major constitutional and legal issues in Nigeria. Justices do not serve to life. They serve until they reach 65, after which they step down. In Nigeria, all citizens age 18 and older have universal suffrage. The Nigerian party structure has 6 major parties with representation in the National Assembly. There is the Accord Party, the All Progressives Congress, the All Progressives Grand Alliance, Democratic People's Party, Labour Party, and the People's Democratic Party. There are a lot of parties in Nigeria, but the 2 major ones are the APC, which the president Muhammadu Buhari belongs to, and the People's Democratic Party, which Goodluck Jonathan belonged to, which still controls the National Assembly.